Michael Hoover with Mavi Unlimited Property Management, and today we're discussing what does self-managing a rental home actually cost. I've said in previous blogs that we have this misconception that our main job is to collect rent, schedule maintenance for items that are broken. And while that's generally true, I personally feel like managing tenant relationships is the bulk of what we do and what you're paying us for. That being said, it's a time-consuming endeavor. And so when you talk about the cost of self-managing, you need to be aware that so much of property management is relational. And so again, do you have the time to really develop and cultivate those relationships with your residents? Or do you work 40, 50, 60 hours a week? And the answer is no. I think that the time spent dealing with tenants in general, whether they're good tenants or bad tenants, is always something to take into consideration when you're trying to decide if it's worth the money to hire professional property management. Lost revenue from poor or slow decision making is something I see pretty often as well, particularly when it involves a tenant not being able to pay the rent on time. There seems to be this huge apprehension from people who self-manage to work with tenants that are habitually late, that have no chance of ever getting caught up with what they owe, but the owner feels bad about making a decision that might put a tenant out of their home. So they continue to let things slide, and by the time they come around to hiring us, you've got a tenant that maybe turned 1 month of owed rent into 5 or 6 months of owed rent. And that's a point where, regardless of how well-intentioned a tenant may be, you're never going to see that money. It's time to let it go, time to let a professional company take over. And so I think, again, when you're considering whether or not you can handle self-management, if you are going to do it yourself, be concise in your decision-making, be quick about it, and don't let a bad situation turn to a much worse situation by prolonging it, by allowing it to continue as it currently is. Lost opportunity for work and family time also is another killer. Again, this is a relational business, and you need to make sure that you have time to invest in getting to know your tenants, making sure that work that was hired out to be done at the property was done properly, making sure that if rent is collected, you can itemize the expenses, prepare it for your taxes at the end of the year. Do you have time for all those aspects, and is it worth taking that away from your normal 9-to-5 job, and more importantly, your family time as well? Again, time is the one concept that I continue to go over here. And I think that for a lot of our clients, they may live local, maybe they live down the street from the property. When they see a value on their time, they put a value on their time, be it because they know that they can make up that value with work, or there's a quality of life aspect that they don't want to get rid of, and that's where they decide to hire a property management firm like ourselves. Legal fees, legal issues, I think, are another concern that generally gets overlooked by people looking to self-manage. Doing something wrong in this business is a costly endeavor, and when you're dealing with thousands of dollars on a yearly basis, sometimes a monthly basis, making a financial mistake can cost you significantly more than that mistake. Security deposit returns are the #1 issue that I see. In the state of Colorado, for instance, an incorrect withholding on a security deposit can lead to up to 3 times the amount that's improperly withheld. And so an owner that doesn't really understand the legalities of what they're doing will just charge a tenant for whatever cleaning or damage they feel is appropriate. Maybe they forget to send that out via certified mail, the tenant never gets it. 3 months later, 4 months later, the judge is telling them they did something wrong, they improperly withheld money, and now they owe significantly more than they took from the tenant to begin with. So save yourself a headache, make sure you understand the legal ramifications of collecting and receiving money from the tenants, and make sure it's done right. I'm Mike, Mavi Unlimited Property Management.